Late night walks had always been a comfort to me. Something about the stillness, the absolute calm of a sleeping world, felt like a balm for the chaos inside. I've been a welder for over 40 years, and while the labor never quite broke me, the silence afterward always fixed me. I live alone now, out on a wide, aging farmstead tucked in the middle of nowhere. Just me and my dog Bosley. Maria, my wife of 35 years, passed away from cancer some time ago, and the kids, well, they grew up and grew away, like kids are supposed to. The house is far too big for one man, but selling it would have felt like erasing Maria. One evening, after a particularly long day in the workshop, I took my usual walk around the perimeter of the property. It's a good loop about a mile long, and Bosley always joins me, happy as ever, tail wagging with the kind of joy I envy. That night, the air was crisp, the sky cloudless, and for once, I let my thoughts wander away from grief and into the rhythm of our walk. Then I saw it. The bedroom window on the second floor, our old bedroom, flickered. Just a flicker, a movement, a suggestion of motion, but it was enough. I stopped cold. I hadn't been in that room in years, couldn't bear to, but now it was as if the house itself had breathed. Something stirred inside, and I wasn't imagining it. My stomach twisted. Was it a reflection, a shadow, or worse, someone? Heart pounding, I rushed back inside. Bosley, sensing my tension, stayed closed as I bolted up the stairs. The door creaked open to reveal stillness. Dust floated in the moonlight. The covers on the bed remained undisturbed. The closet door was shut. I searched every corner. Nothing. My face flushed with embarrassment and anger. Was I losing my mind? I stood in the center of the room for several long minutes, trying to rationalize it, but the unease didn't leave. Something had been there. The following night, I was jolted awake by a low growl. Bosley, lying at the foot of my bed, had his ears pinned back, his gaze locked on the ceiling. I strained to listen. A creak, then another. Footsteps. Right above me, my gut clenched. That was our room. Again, I thought about grabbing my hunting rifle from the cabinet, but decided instead on my heavy flashlight. I could handle an intruder without resorting to violence if there even was one. The stairs moaned under my feet as I climbed. When I pushed open the door, I was met with silence. The room looked exactly the same as the night before, but the hairs on my arms stayed standing. Each night brought a new disturbance. The kitchen lights were left on. Doors I never touched were found ajar. Small things, subtle, but enough to chip away at whatever peace I had left. I called the local police. They came out, looked around politely, found nothing. I saw the look in their eyes, an old man, alone along, perhaps cracking, but it was real. I knew it was. Then came the night that broke me. I walked upstairs on a restless impulse and froze in the doorway of the old bedroom. The room had changed. Maria's old clothes, things I'd carefully folded and packed away, were strewn across the floor. Her favorite scarf lay draped over the vanity chair. My knees nearly buckled, and then I saw her. A woman stood just inside the doorway, short, unfamiliar. She didn't move, didn't speak, just stared. My mind screamed, but I acted on instinct. Charging at her, she turned and sprinted down the stairs. I gave chase, but by the time I reached the porch, she was gone. That was the beginning of my unraveling. Night after night, I lay in bed clutching my rifle, every creak, every rustle in the dark sounding like footsteps. Bosley never left my side. Sometimes he growled lowly, ears pricked, body rigid. I thought about calling my brother, begging him to come stay with me, but pride is a stubborn thing. Then I saw her again. She was standing in the field just beyond the window, bathed in silver moonlight, still and silent, watching. My breath hitched. Bosley barked, frantic. I threw open the door, gun in hand, and stepped outside. She didn't flinch. Only when I fired warning shots did she turn and vanish into the trees. After that, she never came back, but she's not gone. I feel her in the shiver that races down my spine before sleep, in the groan of old wood settling, in Bosley's low growl as he stares at the ceiling. This house is not empty, not anymore. I work for a catering company, which means my nights are rarely peaceful. I'm often behind the wheel of a giant delivery truck, hauling trays and supplies from venue to venue, sometimes well past midnight. It's not glamorous. It's not what I thought I'd be doing at 28, but it pays the bills. After a long shift one night, I finally clocked out around to 8 a.m. The caffeine buzz from too many Red Bulls had me wired, and hunger gnawed at my gut. There's a McDonald's about 10 minutes from my place, open 24/7, blessedly consistent. As I pulled into the drive-thru, I noticed a beat-up old Volkswagen with blacked-out windows parked in the far corner of the lot. Something about it made my skin crawl. I got my food, fries, nuggets, soda, and pulled out. I didn't feel like going home yet. My head was buzzing, and I wanted to eat in peace. I remembered a scenic lookout not far from my house, a place my high school friends and I used to hang out. It's at the top of forested hill in a nearby nature preserve, closed to cars after dusk. But you could still walk up the road. When I arrived, the gravel lot was empty, perfect, until headlights appeared behind me. My heart sank. The Volkswagen, it pulled in slowly and parked a short distance away. I turned off my engine and sat in silence, watching. No movement, no music, just stillness. I told myself it was nothing, coincidence. Still, I called my friend Sebastian and asked him to come meet me. He lived close by and was still up working on something. Be there in 10, he said. While I waited, I couldn't take my eyes off the Volkswagen. I counted the seconds, watching the windows, watching the dark. Then Sebastian pulled and relief washed over me. We started up the trail together, the city lights twinkling in the distance. Just before the lot vanished from view, I turned to look one last time. All four doors on the Volkswagen opened at once, for men stepped out, their movements synchronized and stiff. They stood in place, silent, like statues, then slowly began scanning the area. They didn't speak, didn't even gesture. I nudged Sebastian. He caught on quick. We hurried up the trail until the curve in the path shielded us from view. I whispered that I thought they had followed me. He shrugged it off, probably just guys out to smoke. But something felt wrong. Wrong enough that I could barely taste my food. Wrong enough that we stayed near the top, close to the edge, where we could see the lot. I used to love night drives. There was something calming about the empty roads and glowing signs against a pitch-black sky. After a long day, grabbing late night McDonald's and heading up to City View Overlook helped me unwind. The place was serene, a perfect contrast to the noise in my head. Sebastian and I had this ritual: drive up, sit on the little rock wall that bordered the edge of the overlook, eat, talk, and let the quiet take over. On one particular night, though, that peace was shattered, and I've never gone back since. It started off like any other night. We got our food, made our way up the winding road, and parked the car. The city lights twinkled below, casting just enough glow to make the overlook feel magical. We settled onto the wall with our burgers and fries, laughing about school and gossip, everything feeling light and familiar. Then we heard voices, laughter, and talking echoed from the path behind us. It didn't seem threatening at first, just a group of people enjoying the night like we were. We turned to see three guys approaching. One had a blunt in hand, tattoos snaking down his arms, and a nose ring glinting under the dim lights. His friends trailed close behind, laughing, talking loudly. They didn't seem aggressive, but their energy was invasive. Instead of finding their own spot, they walked right up to us. The tattoo guy smiled, not the warm kind, but the kind that made your skin crawl. He offered us the blunt. We politely declined. One of the other guys laughed and called us something under his breath, something meant to provoke. Sebastian scoffed, clearly annoyed. I tried to change the subject, blurting out something about seeing them earlier at McDonald's. That was a mistake. The atmosphere shifted instantly. The tattoo guy dropped his smile, his eyes narrowing. The other two froze, their expressions hardening. They didn't say anything, just stared. It was like I had said something I wasn't supposed to. Then I remembered something that made my stomach drop. There had been 4 guys in that car at McDonald's. One was missing. I felt my body tense. Sebastian and I exchanged a glance. We were both ready to bolt. Finally, the tattoo guy spoke. He said he worked nights and had just gotten off. He pulled up the hood of his sweatshirt, revealing a McDonald's uniform, like he was trying to prove something. He claimed he and his friends always came here after work to chill. It was meant to sound casual, but something about it didn't sit right. We decided to leave. As we got up and started walking down the path, Sebastian suddenly stopped and pointed. There, just beyond the trees, barely visible in the shadows, was the 4th guy. He stood half hidden, holding something. I couldn't make out what it was, but I didn't wait to find out. The moment he noticed us noticing him, he started moving. We ran down the path, hearts pounding, feet pounding. I didn't dare look back, but I could hear them chasing us. Leaves rustled, branches snapped. Footsteps thundered behind us. We burst into the parking lot, dove into our cars, and sped off like our lives deppin'.